Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members of the committee, my name is Nathan Dunn. I represent Florida Family Action, and we are associated nationally with Focus on the Family. We represent the interests of millions of Floridians who wish to see traditional values and the interests of families represented in matters of public policy. With all due respect to our friends in the Seminole Indian Tribe, I want to briefly state that we are opposed to any agreement with the Seminole Indians that will expand predatory gambling in Florida. The introduction of Class III gambling to Seminole facilities is not in the best long-term interest of Florida's families and communities. The compact was put together under the assumption that the federal government would authorize Class III gaming for the Seminoles regardless of what the state did. And the popular idea was put forward that agreeing to the compact would at least allow the state to benefit some financially from the supposedly inevitable expansion of gambling. Well, we take issue with the very foundation of that premise. In 2007, the state of Texas successfully rebuffed an effort by the U.S. Department of Interior to force Class III gambling upon the communities of Texas. And the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that the Interior Department overstepped its bounds and violated the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act by authorizing the Kickapoo tribe to begin Class III gambling. And in so doing, the court upheld the right of states to limit the gambling offered on Indian property in their state. Thus, the state of Florida has solid legal ground to reject a compact with the Seminole Indians, and there are significant reasons why expanding predatory gambling is the wrong direction for the state to take. The results across the board are devastating to families and communities and can be summed up in the ABCs of gambling, which are addiction, bankruptcy, and crime. The most recent studies show that about 2.5 million Americans are pathological gamblers, and another 3 million are problem gamblers. 500,000 Floridians have suffered from serious to severe gambling-related difficulties at some point in their lives. And in a report to the Florida Council on Compulsive Gambling in 2002, it was found that Florida has a larger percentage of problem and pathological gamblers than reported in the national survey. And more startling is that Florida's at-risk population is about 2 times that of the national study. Bankruptcy also increases whenever gambling thrives. A national survey of 298 counties found that the counties with gambling had a bankruptcy filing rate 18% higher than those without gambling. Various studies of pathological gamblers show that 20% or more will eventually file for bankruptcy. Finally, increased crime is also a natural result when gambling is forced upon a community. By evaluating the results from other communities, we know that when Class III gaming is permitted, the crime rate is nearly twice the national average. A Department of Justice study found that more than 30% of pathological gamblers who had been arrested reported having committed robbery within the past year, and nearly a third of those admitted that
Mr. Dunn, if you'll wrap it up.
Yes, sir. Sure will. None of us want to see that Florida would lose its treasured position as a family-friendly state with safe and growing communities. And so we urge the committee to reject the proposed expansion of predatory gambling that a Seminole compact would bring. Thank you.
Thank you.